వీడియో స్టార్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చా? I can move to the right place. అప్పుడు రాలేదు వెనకాల ఇలా ఉంటాయి కదా. పర్ఫెక్ట్. హలో అనుజ్.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Good. We are in deep issues this time. No power.
No power. Oh dear.
So we are on UPS right now.
Oh, any idea when it's expected to?
No idea, but yeah, now, I mean, I think we should be through by the time.
Okay.
Anyway, we have our hotspots and all that.
Okay. Let's hope. Let's save battery until then.
That's what.
Okay, so I wanted to quickly check with the script.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Okay, so now starting I'll talk about the website has been redesigned, na?
Sort of, yes.
Yeah, so a lot of new information has been updated with the programs that you're doing, plus the mobile laboratory and all of that, right?
Yes.
So that is there. I'll give that a little bit.
Slight noise is coming from your end.
Sorry?
Noise.
There's noise coming?
Yeah.
What?
No? It's fine. It's fine, huh? Okay.
Huh. It's fine, Mohita?
Yeah.
Okay, it's clear, na? It's not booming or there's no disturbance or whatever.
No.
Okay, fine. So I will just talk about the website so people can go there and of course, join the society and help contribute, whatever, all of that.
Yes.
Then in invocation, secretary's note, then we have Mr. Anil Kuti, then addressed by Mr. Ramamurthy.
Yes.
Now this KVRSS commissioned 2 projects.
Yes.
This is Mr. Ramamurthy speaking?
No, you can speak actually.
Okay, so this is what, so you want me to talk about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Just we want to say we have developed these 2 and commissioned the 2 and then we will do a small movie on that.
So then a small film will come in. Then the oration, I will read out his entire bio.
Yeah.
Right? All of it?
Yes.
Or do you want to shorten it a little bit or is this okay?
Yeah, it's up to you. I leave it to you because anyway, it's there in the book and all that. I try to shorten it.
I think it's fine. I'll just remove the birth date.
Okay.
Rest everything. I think it's. I mean, he's done quite a lot of work in any case. So, okay. Then there is Dr. Prakash will deliver the oration. Then we begin the awards. Then the KVRSS Smart Awards.
Smart Ramurthy and both school talent will be. Keep calling them KVRSS school talent KVRSS. Smart Awards. So now we want to brand them. Branding.
So we now have the KVRSS Smart Awards, which is the Science Meets Art Awards. And of course, I invite Mr. Ramamurthy to do the honors to announce them. He will do the announcements, then the School Talent Awards. Then again, he will do that. Spark Innovation. Miss Kavita.
She's our science resource officer.
Science Resources Officer.
Yes. Nice one. Good designation. Science communicator. You want to be called as? Okay. I thought it's a officer sounds good. Anyway, communicator if you want, we can have it.
Then we have, then she'll do the thing. Uske baad we have Bhautikam. You will continue to do that, na?
She will do the spark. I'll do the research because all others are all slightly not well.
Yeah. So then research you will do. Then after that, we have all of this until we go down to the last. Then congratulations to everybody. And then there will be an announcement that
Yeah,
you will do.
yes.
Yeah.
We will do one special announcement.
Following which we have the vote of thanks by Mrs. Aparna, team member KVRSS. Okay.
Yes, done. That's it.
Done?
Simple, small, yeah.
Yeah, it's all
As
good.
quickly as possible.
Mohita is there. Why should I worry?
That's what I said. Yesterday she landed, so I said, Mohita is there, why should I worry?
Yeah.
Yeah. And to challenge her,
Hi.
we have this small wishes.
Good. Chalo, save battery now as much as you can. 340, na? So 20 minutes, I think we should begin. People have already started coming in.
Yes, that I can see.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so I will mute and
I'll mute too.
and I will go off.
10
Then
minutes.
Mohita, whenever you want me to begin, just say you can start and I will come on and begin.
Yes. Whenever to start, you say yes, he'll join. Till then,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Bye. My profile picture is enough to tell people to remain quiet.
Good one.
physicist, soluble in ocean water.
తర్వాత పెట్టవా Okay, sir. Can I see? I don't want to. I don't want in here. Right.
నేను చేసుకుంటాను ఎవరిని అవసరం ఆయన డ్రెస్ మళ్ళీ చెయ్యి దీపం పెట్టి వాల్యూమ్ అక్కడ అది ఆపే సౌండ్ నాకు ఓ మంజు ఎడిచి అంట Hello, Manjushri.
Am I seeing background is okay, Ratna?
Muted.
Yeah, okay.
మీరు మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు.
No, I'm not on mute. Yeah.
The voice చాలా ఇది ఓకే.
Are you able to hear me properly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Background is also I have blurred the background. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. But hello, Dr. Manju. She's just okay. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, fine, ma'am. How are you all?
We are fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
అది చిన్న గ్లిష్ అలా అవుతుందండి. ఎందుకు లాస్ట్ లింక్ చేయండి.
Now, I think we are expecting some more participants.
వస్తున్నారు చాలా వస్తారు.
Yeah.
We didn't allow. They are already in the room. The waiting room lo.
Okay.
We'll allow them.
Okay. You just tell me when I should call, sir.
ఆయనక అది సరే ఒక 2-3 minutes రమ్మని, so we can start having an introduction with him also. Our Ramurthy garu, our vice president, is already here. And
Okay. Good evening, sir.
ఎవరికో సౌండ్ వస్తుంది మీరు వెనకాల కాబోలు చూసుకోండి.
I request all to mute their mics, please, if possible. Yeah. Some music is being heard. Please avoid that.
చేశారా ప్రవీణ్ కుమార్ లేదన్నారు ఇంకా మనాలి
Yeah, admit. Putti garu kuda join ayyaru.
Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon, good evening, sir.
Good afternoon, good evening.
So,
Hello, Ramurthy Garu. How are you?
How are you doing, sir?
Good, good, good.
Okay. Okay, back to Hyderabad?
Yeah.
Okay.
So couple of small issues that came up in the last minute. So I think we are resolved.
Your broad shoulders will resolve everything.
No, sir, there's actually a power cut where there was huge rain here. So
I know, you know, this is a year before last also, there was heavy rain.
I know. So whenever we keep there, it's going to rain online. So we should go for an offline this time around.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
We're just waiting for him to.
Yeah, yeah, there is time.
Yeah. Mohita is here, so we are all.
Hello. Yeah, yeah. Once Mohita is there, you can forget about all technical problems.
Even Anu says that, so that is good. Here, sir, she is here.
Yeah. Hi, Mohita.
Hello.
Hi.
Lot of support for me. Okay, sir, I know. Stay up, sir. I thought I'll talk. Yeah. I think he is joining, sir.
Mohita said a virtual background. Should we use that?
No, in my case, it doesn't work.
It's fine, it's fine. If you want, you can have it. No problem.
Okay. Otherwise, how is this?
No, it's fine now. It's fine. Just I said if you want to.
Okay.
Sir, Dr. Prakash Chauhan is here. Sir, please welcome, sir. This is Ratna here from Dr. KVRSS Society. And so good evening.
Good afternoon, madam. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Yeah.
I'm Anil Kutti.
He's the president of our society, sir.
Namaskar, Anil sir. Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon. Sir. Good afternoon.
Mr. Ramurthy, he is our vice president.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Ramurthy sir. How are you?
Nice meeting you, sir.
So thank you so much for.
Welcome to the evening. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and giving a chance to interact with you all. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of this function today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. So,
you very much.
so I have sent you all the details. So we'll proceed almost accordingly, except there's that curtain raiser. We are just clubbing with that another medium and movie, mobile science lab and innovation center. So we just proceed with it.
Sure. Please go ahead with your program.
Yes, sir. Maybe you can start everything and then we can start off. So Dr. Manjushri is our my friend, sir, and also we are in Indian Women Science Association. So we are colleagues, and she is the treasurer of our society there.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, she's our colleague at NRSC. So thank you for connecting.
Thank you, sir. So we'll start on at exactly 4 o'clock, sir. Students and lots of people are already.
Yeah, no problem. I think another 3-4 minutes are there. So.
Yes, that's why we'll wait for that and then start.
Hello. నేను లేరు మీరు వాళ్ళ దగ్గరనే ఉండండి నైట్ 10, 11, 12 ఏ టైం అయితే వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉండి వాళ్ళని డ్రాప్ చేసి రండి.
Yeah.
Okay, namaskar. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us. My name is Anuj Kurwara, and as every year, it is my honor to host the annual Science Awards and the annual Memorial Oration event of the Dr. K.V. Rao Scientific Society. This is, of course, the 22nd annual Science Awards, and it's such a delight always to be here and address all of you in this wonderful community that is spreading so much education and awareness about science. I'm also fulfilling a little part of my parents' dream because they spent many years hoping that I would do something with science and maths. And, after disappointing them year after year after year, now they say do something related to science. So I said, okay, I will host the event for the Scientific Society. That's the closest I can come professionally to it. But congratulations, everybody, for yet another wonderful year. The Dr. K.V. Rao Scientific Society, the entire team. We've had a lot of advancements, lot of new introductions, which we'll of course talk about as the event goes. And of course, the wonderful work that has inspired so many students to innovate and research and create and come up with ideas to make the world a better place. And we'll be awarding a lot of them for it as well. So we'll tell you more about it, but you can also always go to www.kvrss.org, the website, and learn about all the information that is there. And of course, with the event today, it is my honor, of course, to welcome Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, NRSC, Hyderabad. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time out and being with us. Also, Mr. Anil Kuti, President of KVRSS, Mr. Ramamurthy, Vice President, KVRSS, and of course, Dr. Ratna, Secretary, KVRSS, the pillars of the Scientific Society. Thank you so much for spearheading this movement. Well, at this juncture, right at the start, I would like to please inform everyone, if you could please keep your mics on mute unless you are requested to, and then, we can have a seamless event. And as tradition, we would start the event with a prayer to seek the Almighty's blessings and to present the invocation. May I please request Mrs. Somini to do the honors. Mrs. Somini, whenever you're ready, could we have the invocation in your wonderful voice and seek the blessings of the Almighty for an auspicious start to our event. Thank you.
या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुधैः वेदपारगैः सा मे वसतु जेवाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती सरस्वती शारदा मायि सरस्वती शारदा मायि सरस्वती शारदा मायि सरस्वती शारदा मायि विद्यादायि दयानि सुख हरिणि विद्यादायि दयानि सुख हरिणि जगत जननी ज्वालामुखी माता जगत जननी ज्वालामुखी माता सरस्वती शारदा मायि सरस्वती शारदा मायि.
Thank you, Mrs. Shomni. Thank you so much for starting the proceedings on an auspicious note, a beautiful note. And may I now request Dr. Ratna's secretary, Dr. KV Rao Scientific Society, to please formally welcome our guests to the event and present the secretary's note. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuj. Good evening to one and all. The director, NRSC, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, our president, Mr. Anil Putti, our vice president, Mr. Ramurthy, senior scientists, candidates of the events, and all other students who are present here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this 22nd Annual Science Awards and Memorial Oration Function of Dr. KV Rao Scientific Society. This is being held online because of the various technical issues that we have faced. However, today we'll be celebrating excellence in science by students that all the events that have happened in this year 2020, 21, 22. As there is a reduction in COVID, we hope that next year we will definitely be doing a physical function as we have already always done till 2019. To take you through our society's activities in 2021-22, the society was formed in 2001 with spotting talent and recognizing students at various levels. This was started in Andhra Pradesh and then moved to South India. And now we are doing this activity across India. There is no better way to encourage students than giving them a pat on the back. So that is what Dr. KV Rao Scientific Society has been doing all these years. And for this, we conduct a number of events every year. Some of the events that we have done this year include KVRSS Smart Awards. This is a competition to celebrate National Science Day and for visualizing science through art. And it encourages creative thinking for understanding science concepts. Then we have the second event, which we do annually, which is the School Talent Awards. This is done in collaboration with Council of Science and Technology, Andhra Pradesh. And the students who go for National Children's Science Congress are mentored, and the selected candidates are given scholarships. Then we have another important event, which is called KVRSS Spark Innovation Awards for school children for classes 7 to 12. And this aims to stimulate the young minds and give shape to their creative thinking and encourage innovation using scientific concepts that they learn in school. Then we have our major flagship event, Research Awards, which actually the society's event started. That is the KVRSS Research Awards for research students below 30 years of age. Who are completed PhD or who are doing active research work in various research institutions in India in the major fields of basic sciences, that is math, physics, chemistry, and biology. One of the important event, that is annual science quiz, is something which where the cream of the students at school level used to participate. Is we could not do this year because of technical and logical issues that we faced during the last couple of years. However, we have already planned and definitely we will be doing it next year. Today, we will be announcing the list of all the candidates who have been selected in all the events that we have mentioned, except for school talent. All the other events are at national level. There's a very good participation which happened in spite of the COVID. We had hundreds of students participating in each of the events. All these are recognizing and spotting the talent events. Through the years, we have realized that mentoring is an important factor to make the students excel in their activities. So towards this, what we have taken up many activities, which include scientific talks by scientists at schools and interacting with the scientists. Then we have visits by the school students to various research institutions. We have created concept videos with the help of senior scientists. And now we are into establishment of labs for school children. Towards this, we are very happy to announce that we have taken advantage of the lean period during COVID to establish two major projects. One is Innovations and Science Innovation Center in our office premises, which is funded by a company called Electronic Arts, Hyderabad. It's our subsidiary is based in Hyderabad. They have funded us to set up the lab in our office premises. And then the second one is the Mobile Science Lab, which was also funded by a foreign agency, that is Lalita Varanasi Fund of the Orange County Fund, California. The Innovation Lab was inaugurated in the month of August 2021 by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, and the Mobile Science Lab was inaugurated by Mrs. Sabita Indra Reddy, Honorable Minister of Education, Telangana, in the month of April 2022, very recently. Both these facilities cater to students of classes 7 to 10 in the various schools, including government as well as private, which lack adequate lab facilities basically. And basically our methodology is a bit unique, that we go for hands-on experiential method of demonstration and involvement of the student for doing the activities. So for developing these two projects, we thank both the funding partners and hope we do justice to the projects. One very important factor is that when we are approaching the schools, not only the low-end schools and the government schools, even the elite schools and the NGOs have contacted us for taking our services of these two facilities, which which we thought was not required for them, but of course now we realize that students there also need our services. These can be actually proved by the statistics, where in about the 5 months of operation, we were able to cater to more than 20 schools and more than 3,000 students with these services. I just want to talk about the National Education Policy, which focuses on improving standard of education through various measures, which include recognizing, identifying, fostering unique abilities of each student, and it emphasizes on conceptual understanding and experiential learning. Here I want to say that we are very happy to say that all our activities are already in alignment with the government's vision, and we shall continue to contribute in this initiative. To take forward all these initiatives towards 2025, we have taken help of senior scientists and formed a technical committee comprising of senior scientists who we expect us to guide and support us to take us forward. Apart from this, memorial oration has always been a tradition during the annual awards function, wherein an eminent scientist is invited to deliver a talk to inspire these young students who participate in various activities. Today, we are indeed honored to have a senior and eminent scientist in our presence. I would like to welcome Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center, NRSC, Hyderabad. He will be delivering the 22nd memorial oration. Thank you, sir, for accepting.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
We welcome all the senior scientists, teachers who gave their unstinted support year after year in various capacities of judges, mentors, guides, and ensure the success of our events. Here, I would like to mention that we have had a lot of awardees at research level who have come back as resource personnel and helped us in this process. I welcome all the school and research students who participated in our events and who are here to present and for the awards function. Congratulations to all of them and wish them the best. I welcome all the executive members of our society and the technical committee that has been formed, and all others who have helped us in our journey of these 22 years. I welcome one and all to this year's function and hope all of you enjoy, appreciate, and make it a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ratna. Thank you so much. And congratulations once again on a wonderful year full of some stellar achievements that the entire team should be very proud of. May I now invite the president of the society, Mr. Anil Kuti, please address the audience. A science graduate and IAS officer of the 1978 cadre, he has vast experience in the fields of banking, administrative, and power, both for government and private sectors. He was Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power, Government of India till 2007. He's an avid reader, and of course, his interest in science and experience in administration has helped KVRSS to constantly progress in the right direction. Mr. Anil Kuti, the screen is all yours.
Thank you and welcome everyone. Chief guest and orator for today's function, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center, Mrs. Dr. KV Rao, wife of late Dr. KV Rao, in whose honor the society was set up. Our Vice President, Mr. Ramamurthy, Secretary Dr. Ratna, the moving force behind KVRSS, Joint Secretary Mr. PSK Shastri, members of our Executive Committee, Dr. CB Lakshmi, Dr. Srihari Rao, Dr. Dinesh, and our Treasurer, Mrs. Lata Parekh, eminent scientists who constitute our Technical Committee, Professor Radhakrishna from the University of Hyderabad, Professor KVA Ramaya, also from Hyderabad University, and Professor Thiruvikram, BITS Hyderabad, Mr. Shastri, who's the son of Dr. KV Rao and also the husband of Dr. Ratna, the life force and the main support and sourcing for the society, family, friends, and admirers of Dr. KV Rao, and above all, dear young scientists and children on whose shoulders rests the enormous of carrying forward the legacy of the long scientific tradition of India. Dr. KV Rao Society was founded, as our secretary mentioned, in 2001 in the name of Dr. late KV Rao, who retired as the superintending chemist of the Geological Survey of India in Hyderabad. His primary research work included detailed chemical analysis of geological deposits and ores of India for mapping and documenting the natural assets of a newly independent country. A scientist with multiple interests, he also developed techniques for macro-elemental analysis of materials, designed community and family-sized defluoridization plants for providing potable drinking water in Flores's endemic villages. After retirement, he continued to work and used his scientific skills for chemical analysis. In fact, it was one of the pioneering efforts for determining the effects of environmental pollution on monuments like Taj Mahal, the Charminar, Gomuteshwara statue in Karnataka, Thousand Pillar, Ramappa statue, etc. It was in honor of this great scientist that the society was set up in 2001 by Mr. K. A. Shastri, with a view to promoting something that was closest to the heart of Dr. KV Rao, inculcating the spirit of inquiry and love of science among school children, and encouraging young scientific talent to pursue their chosen field of study. Through competitions and programs like the Science Innovation Award, which we call the SPARK, the Science Quiz Awards, the Science Talent Awards, the School Science Talent Awards, quizzes, debates, and lectures by eminent scientists, the society strives to connect with the largest number of young minds to capture their attention and instill in them interest in science. Our methodology is to introduce them to the wonders of science in a non-academic way. And our hope is that our modest efforts contribute in howsoever small a way in igniting a spark in their impressionable minds that would eventually lead them on to a career in science. At the senior level, the society has also been running the Young Scientist Award program, under which handsome cash awards are given to research scholars in the fields of chemistry, physics, mathematics, and the biological scientists. A very distinguished set of judges is constituted for each discipline, who scrutinize the papers submitted by these scholars and conducts interviews before selecting 3 awards for each discipline. Thanks to the reputation and the fair selection by our distinguished judges, winning a KVRSS Young Scientist Award has become a visible recognition of merit, and today forms an important addition to the CVs of the young awardees. The activities for the past couple of years were conducted in the shadows of the epidemic. Necessity, as they say, is mother of invention, the prime motivator for harnessing human knowledge to solve challenges and develop solutions. During the COVID years, the society completely revamped its IT infrastructure and was able to conduct all its programs through video conferencing with even larger participation than in normal years. In fact, thanks to our national digital footprint, we now have participation from almost all parts of the country. However, as you all know, science cannot be taught or its finer points appreciated without the students working with their own hands, conducting experiments, trying to make their own projects, or even trying to solve problems with their own inventions using basic scientific tools and instruments. This essential requirement was also addressed this year as we emerged from the isolation imposed by the epidemic. The society commissioned two long-cherished projects, the Mobile School Lab and the Science Innovation Lab, with generous assistance from two of our donors. Thanks to contributions by Messrs. Electronic Arts, thanks to the contributions from Mr. and Mrs. Varanasi of USA, who routed their funds through the Orange County Community Fund in California, we now have a fully equipped mobile laboratory fitted inside a bus, meeting the requirements of experiments by science students of class 7 to class 10. And this meets a very, very important requirement which we found when we visited some of the schools around. Most private schools, and sad to say, a large number of even government schools do not have labs and do not have equipment. They do not have lab assistants, and most of the students' knowledge of science is only through reading and perhaps watching a few videos. The second major achievement that we had this year was developing the property owned by Dr. KV Rao, a house which was donated by his son, Mr. Shastri, into an innovation and science hobby center. And this was funded through the grant and support from the US based software gaming major, Electronic Arts. Thanks to their contribution, we now have a 4,000 square foot facility equipped with audio-visual facilities and basic equipment for conducting hundreds of experiments in physics, chemistry, biology, and even mathematics. This facility will also double up as a science hobby center, allowing students to work on their own projects. Being located hardly a 10-minute walk away from a metro station, we do hope that in the years to come, this will act as a magnet for all children interested in science and wanting to work with their own hands to come here and try out their ideas and work on projects. We've been able to achieve these two major milestones in record time, thanks to the meticulous planning by Dr. Ratna and her staff, who had designed each element of the project in great detail and quickly commissioned them when the pandemic restrictions were lifted. These building blocks will work and produce results in popularizing science from children in the years to come. I do not wish to speak longer. You must be all eager to listen to our distinguished orator, who had such an illustrious career at the Indian Science Research Organization, ISRO, before heading the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing and presently the all-important National Remote Sensing Center. We are indeed grateful to you, sir, for sparing your time and agreeing to spend your precious moments with us and inspiring our students to greater heights. And I'm sure they will make the country proud. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the people who work behind the scenes in making today's event happen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Anil Kuti. Thank you so much for highlighting the achievements and the journey we've taken so far. May I now invite the eldest son of the late Dr. K.V. Rao, Mr. Ramamurthy, an engineer and an IT professional and one of the strong pillars of KVRSS, who has been very instrumental in his support right since its formation. I invite Mr. Ramamurthy to please address our gathering. Thank you.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me? Yeah, good evening. Distinguished speaker of the evening, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director NRSA, ladies, gentlemen, and participants. We extend a warm welcome to Dr. Prakash Chauhan, and we look forward to hearing from him on the fascinating subject of satellite applications. India has been a pioneer in space technology for multiple applications of satellites like broadcasting, navigation, remote sensing, telecommunications, and more. I worked in Airtel for about a good long period of time, where I was the CTO for the long distance services. And we used satellite technology to extend the reach of the mobile network in remote areas like Kargil, Northeast India, Andamans, and also in disaster management. I was heading a division for extending the enterprise network through satellite, through a satellite network. We look forward, sir, to hear from you on this exciting topic on the trends and the new applications and of this exciting technology in space science. And we look forward very keenly to hear on the subject. I shall not stand you between the eminent speaker and the audience, but I have two slides to make for your consideration. Science and technology have played a key role in India, have played a key role in putting India into the top league of leading nations. Our efforts to encourage science education, scientific innovation in schools, universities, and leading research labs is a small effort to a larger cause. Perhaps it's time we focus on innovation in specific themes which are relevant in current times, like climate change, new age materials, medicine, non-fossil energy, space science, medicine, clean water for human consumption. So we welcome ideas from eminent scientists and institutions on this front. And we can carry forward this idea through, we can conduct this as science hackathons, and we can call for additional contributions on specific subject themes. As an extension, we can extend facilities and assist the winning teams to carry forward their ideas for implementation through the various innovation hubs of the government of Telangana and government of India. The second suggestion which I have is on the topic of access to leading research laboratories and interaction with leading scientists. Today, most of us do not have access to the excellent research facilities and data from these institutions. It would be great if eminent scientists and leading research institutes were to mentor the new generation. We have excellent research institutes like NRSA, NGRA, RRL, CCMB, DRDR in Hyderabad, in addition to the various innovation centers of the various industries in like in the field of information technology and pharmacy. The society has actively worked with CCMB for quite some time, for long years on this front, and we have been successful in our programs in mentoring some of the students in their research programs, and we would be happy to expand our interaction with the leading institutions like NRSA. We welcome your suggestions and ideas for launching some of the new initiatives. Last year has been a great year with the launch of two major initiatives as highlighted by Dr. Atta and Mr. Anil Kuti. In the launch of our science mobile laboratory and also the and launching of our Science Innovation Center at Madhuranagar, Hyderabad. I would not like to stand in between you and the guest speaker. My special thanks and gratitude for the distinguished professors, teachers, and scientists who have been constantly guiding us and helping us in our various programs. We thank you for all your support and we look forward to working with you for a better tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ramurthy, for your kind words and, of course, very insightful suggestions. And I'm sure a lot of work will be taken on in that regard. We've, of course, had an exciting year with some very interesting, steps that were taken, especially two major projects that were commissioned this year. The first one, of course, is a Science Innovation Center in its office premises with the fund from EA Hyderabad that was inaugurated by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, former chairman of ISRO. I did notice there's Pushkar Saluja of class 9 DAV International School who just asked in the chat that where is this laboratory? Pushkar, for you, this is at Vengal Rao Nagar. It's 10 minutes walk from a metro station. It's very accessible. And I think you'll find the details on the website kvrss.org. So you can go ahead there and find the contact details as well. So it's easily accessible and we hope you can visit it sometime soon. So the Science Innovation Center was, of course, inaugurated by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, former chairman ISRO. The center is well equipped with equipment and models for science concept teaching and can provide support to creative and innovative ideas of students. A number of schools in the neighborhood are utilizing this facility. And since this inauguration, about 1,000 students have utilized the facility, which is incredible. Now, that led to the thought that if the neighborhood was so excited by an innovation center within reach, why not if we can't bring more and more students to this innovation center, why not take the innovation center to the students? And that's when the second project, which is the Mobile Science Laboratory, which was funded by Lalita Varanasi Fund through the Orange County Community Foundation in the United States, this came into being. It was developed to cater to schools far from our, of course, physical location and in and around Hyderabad with adequate, with places that don't have the required facilities. This one is proving to be a very good facility for school students to learn science hands-on. So the Mobile Science Laboratory brings the science, brings the learning to you. And since its inauguration in April 2022 by Srimati Sabita Indra Reddy Garu, the Honorable Minister of Education for the state of Telangana, it has been a wonderful experience. More than 20 schools have been able to experience this Mobile Science Laboratory. More than 2,000 students have utilized the equipment in the bus. So we definitely like to take this on to more and more schools, more and more children all over, far beyond, even the city. But of course, we would require your help, and you can always join the society or help the society through the website. There's a way to contact us, kvrss.org, so we can spread our reach and, of course, spread the science. But on these two facilities that were developed, the Science Innovation Center and the Mobile Science Lab, we have a quick film to show you before we hand the screen over to our distinguished speaker. So may I call for the film, please? Thank you. Oh, that bus is quite an experience. I mean, it just makes you feel so childlike when you get inside, even as an adult. It's the kind of vehicle you'd like to get stuck in when there's a traffic jam. But, but congratulations, KVRSS, the entire team for creating such in the innovation itself to take science to students. And there are so many students, thousands who've benefited from this. And we hope to reach this out to more and more schools and communities to take science to them. Of course, now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Every year, KVRSS invites an eminent scientist to deliver the Dr. K.V. Rao Memorial Oration at the annual awards function of the society. The talk is, of course, this is here to motivate young children and all the other awardees in their quest for excellence. This year, we're extremely privileged to have a very distinguished scientist, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad, to present the 22nd Annual Memorial Oration. Dr. Prakash Chauhan is a postgraduate in applied geophysics from the University of Roorkee and a PhD in physics, Gujarat University in Ahmedabad. Dr. Chauhan joined ISRO in 1991 as a scientist and served as group director at SAC for Biological and Planetary Sciences Group from 2014 to 2018. Prior to joining NRSC Hyderabad, he was the director at the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, the IIRS, in Dehradun from April 2018. His current work is on the use of satellite remote sensing data to understand the climate response and air quality assessment from space. He has published more than 150 peer review papers in national and international journals. Dr. Chauhan has been a recipient of many awards, which include the prestigious Professor P.R. Pishiroti Memorial Award by Indian Society of Remote Sensing, the Hari Om Ashram Prerit Dr. Vikram Sarabhai Research Award by the Physical Research Laboratory, and Satish Dhawan Award by ISRS Dehradun, to name a few. Our society wishes to express its sincere thanks to Dr. Chauhan for accepting to deliver the 22nd Dr. K.V. Rao Annual Memorial Oration. He's going to be, of course, speaking on the satellites for society. Dr. Prakash Chauhan, may I please invite you to deliver the oration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anuj, for this wonderful introduction. Good afternoon to all dignitaries. I would like to greet at this occasion the President of the K.V. Rao Scientific Society, Mr. Anil Kuttiji, as well as the Vice President, Mr. Ramamurthy, and my greetings to all, also to Dr. Ratna, who is the Secretary of K.V. Rao Scientific Society, and all the other functionaries of the society, and importantly, all the students, those who have joined today's session. Greetings and good afternoon to each one of you. First and foremost, it's a real honor and privilege for me to join today's function. And it reminds me, the great contributions of Dr. K.V. Rao, who happens to be a geoscience community scientist. And I feel, again, privileged and honored that I also belongs to geoscience and earth science community. So it's again really a good connect to K.V. Rao Society, where he has spent his life in terms of understanding the mineralogical compositions of wonderful elements which we have on this earth crust, as well as in the interior of the earth. And these elements, they make the compounds and minerals. And then, of course, much of this is used for national development for various applications. So thank you very much for inviting me for this occasion, and I will be talking to the students and to you all on a very important topic, which is connected to my field, that's space science and space technology. Many of us have seen these wonderful rockets flying from Sriharikota, and then you see it on television. A lot of people get excited. You clap as the rocket defies the gravity of the Earth, and then they push these satellites into different type of orbits. There are low Earth orbits, there are geostationary orbits, there are geosynchronous orbits, and these satellites do different kind of activities depending on the purpose for which they are being launched. But what really comes out of these satellite systems and how these satellites are basically useful for the common man. That's what we will try to understand. At the same time, I would also briefly like to talk about the space science experiments, the space and planetary science experiments, which ISRO is doing, and which has also kindled, especially the young generation, the curiosity about knowing about our own solar system, especially like missions like Chandrayaan 1 and 2, and of course, the Mars Orbiter mission. So overall, this talk will be mainly about how these satellites are functioning and then what we do and how we use these satellite systems for the benefit of common men. I would like to share my slides, and if you are able to see, can you just confirm that you are able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll take roughly around 40 minutes or so if that much time is available for me. Yeah. So I start with this wonderful image of our planet Earth, which is known as the blue planet. And you will imagine that why I'm showing this image to you. This is the image of Earth, which has been taken from an orbiter, which is orbiting around the surface of Moon. And as you see the sunrise and the moonrise, if you are standing on the surface of the Moon, the Earth also rises from the horizons, and it gives you a feel of this blue marble. And that's why we call it this beautiful planet as the blue planet, but which has shades of gray and white in terms of the continents and the clouds which surrounds us, and also provides all important water for sustaining ourselves on this beautiful planet. Since time immemorial, as far as the human history is concerned, the man has been fascinated by the outer space. We have been fascinated by the night skies. Even the young children today, they talk about stars and they start wondering that what is happening all over in the cosmos or in the solar system or in the universe. Many of the celestial events, especially events like the eclipses, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse were mysteries to our ancestors, and many of them have built certain stories around this, and some of them were even scared about various celestial events which do take place. Slowly, as the humans evolved, they started recording these observations over caves and then on paper subsequently. And then, later on, as the inventions started growing up, humans started discovering telescopes, they started making observations about the celestial events, and then they started building the hypothesis and many rules and laws about the planetary motions. Many of you must have heard in your school textbooks. And then subsequently, from 16th century onwards, with the invention and then the chemistry and the metallurgy being developed by the humans, people started developing bigger instruments for making measurements and then doing systematic recordings with the help of, the ground-based telescopic systems. And then subsequently, people also started putting these telescopes into the space. Now, when we say to a young child, what exactly space is, how do we define space? What is space? So, and where it begins? So that's a big question. So people define that space is the zone above and around our planet where there is no air to breathe or to scatter the light. As many of you must have heard in your textbook, the sky appears blue because it scatters the sunlight, which is known as the Rayleigh scattering, because there are molecules or the gaseous molecules which are present in the atmosphere of the Earth. As you go higher and higher, suppose if you go to the mountains, because there are no other particles present in the mountain air, you will see much bluer skies. When you go to the higher altitude, you will see even the violet sky. So this happens because of the scattering of sunlight by these molecules, which is defined as the Rayleigh scattering. But if these molecules are not present, then what will happen? There is no scatterers in the atmosphere. There are no particles, no molecules, and that's the place which is basically known as the space or the beginning of the space. Typically, it happens around a height of around 100 kilometers from the surface of Earth. And this particular height, or this particular imaginary line, is called as the Kármán line, which basically is roughly around 100 kilometers of space. If you see the classification of space, the first 10 or 12 kilometers is called troposphere, then you have stratosphere, then you have mesosphere, thermosphere, and then exosphere. So the Kármán line, is around 100 kilometers or so, just beyond mesosphere. So beyond this line, there is virtually no particles. And then if you put any observation system at that altitude and beyond, you are into space and you will be making space-based observations. Now, what are the advantages of making observations from space? And how do we observe various entities by using principles of physics and developing various kinds of instrumentations? So traditionally, many of you have heard these names of famous telescopes like Swift, Chandra, Hubble, Spitzer, our own, AstroSat. And then, of course, some of these imaging systems, if you orient towards the Earth, you have this Earth observation satellite systems, but the principles remain same. So as many of you students may be knowing that humans can see only a very short range of electromagnetic spectrum, and that is known as the visible part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Our eyes are sensitive to the wavelengths roughly around 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers or so. But we can get a lot of information about our world if we start seeing, like some animals do have that capability to see into infrared, and then to see in microwaves, or then to see even in radio wave region, or even on the other side of the spectrum in ultraviolet or X-rays. So the scientists have this advantage. They can define, or they can build instruments which have detectors, which can detect these energies and then get some unique information about our universe, about our solar system, as well as about our own planet Earth. So this is the basic concept. And since we rise above the Earth, there is no atmosphere. So the attenuation because of the atmospheric particles or variations caused by the atmospheric disturbances, like we have cloudy days, we have sunny days, we have dust storms. You can avoid all these things and you can make very clear and crisp observations about solar system. So this is how, the observing power of humans have been evolving. Initially you had observations from human eyes with an angular resolution of around 60 arcsecond. Then Galileo developed the first telescopes with 3 arcsecond capability. There are ground-based telescopes with the 1 arcsecond, resolving power. And then, of course, once you go to space, you can have very high resolving powers. Your telescopes are much larger. There is much more clarity. And today we have, capability of space-based telescopes, which are having a resolving power of 0.05 arc per second. So this is an nebula system, which you see from a ground-based observatory in, somewhere in New Zealand called Auckland. And if you see the same thing from Hubble, you can see the difference in the clarity of picture. It is simply because here the energy is coming through atmosphere and there is no atmosphere when we make observations from space. And then now we have the much higher generation of space-based telescopes. You must have all heard about a fantastic machine which has been developed, which is known to be, change the entire view about our understanding of universe, called the James Webb Telescope. And this type of fantastic and fabulous images are now being captured about our galactic systems from the James Webb Telescope. And this particular image has been called or named as cosmic cliffs, which is nothing but basically the dust clouds where the stars do form in some of the nebulous systems. And you can see the ability of imaging or resolving the universal phenomena by this wonderful telescope called James Webb Telescope. So this is about the observations into the universe. But currently in this talk, we will be talking more about our closer neighborhood. That means our own solar system. Now, if you talk of solar system, where we live, this is our home. So the sun is our God, sun is our star, and we have these inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And of course, you have these outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and then icy planets, Uranus and Neptune. So these 4 inner planets, essentially, they are very close to sun. And of course, on Earth, we are so uniquely positioned that we have only signature of life or presence of life on Earth. Scientists are making large amount of exploration missions to search for life somewhere in the solar system. So the big question, are we alone in the solar system, is not yet answered. Missions to Mars and mission to Venus have this primary goal that we want to find out if there is any sign of life within our solar system beyond Earth, even if not a developed life as developed as what we have on Earth, but even microscopic life, if we can find on Mars or even on the upper atmosphere of Venus, it will be a real nice discovery. But till date, these are only attempts. We don't have any conclusive evidence that life exists beyond Earth in our solar system. So these are some of the important questions which are, fueling the race, or you can say the fueling the exploration of our solar system, and also to know more about our own neighbors like Venus or to Mars, what has been happening, what kind of environment is there, or even our own satellite, which is Moon, how different it is, how differently it has evolved from Earth. All these questions gives you some idea that what will be the fate of our own planet Earth in long run as the planet cools down, what kind of processes will happen, maybe, which really has been happening on Mars today. So I would like to show once again another very interesting picture to you. This is about our own planet Earth and its satellite called Moon. So this is not an animation. This is a real picture which has been captured by a satellite, which is around 4 lakh kilometers away from the Moon, from the surface of Earth, and it has captured the far side of the Moon as Moon transits around the Earth, in its own axis. And you can see there is a wonderful contrast between these 2 planets, even though our planetary bodies, Earth and Moon distance is only 3,48,000 kilometers away. But the Moon is a gray body and Earth is a beautiful blue planet. So we need to understand why these 2 bodies, which are only 3,84,000 kilometers away, why they are so different. And then, of course, scientists have done, the complete imaging of Mercury, Venus, Earth, as well as for Mars also, and then some of the outer planets. So you can see compositionally also, by nature of look, within the visible range of electromagnetic spectrum, these planets are very, very different than each other. So this also gives us a curiosity that why the Mars appears red in color, why Venus has this hazy clouds around it, why Mercury has different kind of colors or different type of mineralogical compositions on the surface of Mercury. Now, in order to understand some of these issues, it was very important to develop a space program in this country. And India, after independence, as all of you know, we were a country which was basically shattered by hundreds of years of, slavery by British, and economically, socio-economically, our conditions were not, very good. We're a country which has been, having 23% of GDP at, in 15th, 16th century, had only 1% of contribution to global GDP, with an average life expectancy of 47 years or so. How do you think of even conceiving a space program, which is basically a very capital intensive, money oriented activity? But you need a great visionary. And that visionary was Professor Vikram Sarabhai, who thought even the late 70s that India should develop a self-dedicated or Atmanirbhar, what we call today Atmanirbhar space program, not to compete, international players that time like Americans or USSR, those who were fighting in a Cold War era, but essentially to use this technology for national development. And with that thought in mind, when he said that we should be second to none in the applications of advanced technologies to real problems of man of society, with that vision, we initiated almost no infrastructure space program. And now 5 decades after that process started, India is one of the top 5 spacefaring nations. and having end-to-end capability in terms of developing its own satellite systems, its camera systems, its own space transportation system, ability to launch rockets and put satellites into different orbits, manage them, operate them, and then use these technology for the socio-economic benefits. And that has happened because we basically strive hard for state-of-art technologies with the help of our industries and, of course, academic institutions. And this activity, you can say, and you can be very proud that it is all homegrown space program, totally indigenous. Today we are talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat, but Professor Vikram Sarabhai, imagine that Atmanirbharta in 1968-69 timeframe itself. So today we have a very successful space program. We had launched more than 76 launch vehicles. We have realized 110 satellite systems. We have launched 328 satellites from 33 different countries. And we are now developing new variants of our rockets so that we can become a very important player in space commerce. Today, if you talk about the objects which has been made, built within India by Indians, by Indian students like you, those who have graduated not from very high university systems like IITs or IIMs, regional small guys and girls, they have built satellites. They have put them into lower Earth orbits of around 500 to 900 kilometers. Currently, we operate around 15-20 satellites in different orbits. We have satellite systems, currently 2 satellites for Earth observation and around 11 to 12 satellites for communication and navigation services are operating at this distance around 36,000 kilometers away from the surface of Earth. Presently, as we speak, our own India-made satellite Chandrayaan-2 is going around the surface of Moon at a distance of around 385,000 kilometers. And then, of course, you all must be remembering the famous Mars Orbiter mission, or the MOM, on which the movies have been also made. This basically reached a distance of around 225 million kilometers from the surface of Earth. And it was supposed to be around the surface of Mars for 6 months, but it lasted 8 years. And last week only, ISRO celebrated the 8th year of MOM around the surface of Mars, and now the satellite is not functioning. So after successfully orbiting around the surface of Mars for 8 years, the mission has now completed. So this is the kind of reach of Indians as far as the space systems or the the distances within the space are concerned. And all of you should be very happy to see that. So currently we operate 15 communication satellites, which is having a capacity of around 225 transponders. Transponders are the instrument which helps you relaying the communication, which is basically uplinked from Earth and then redistributed to the surface of Earth for receiving a lot of services like direct to home, DTH television, which you see, or any ATM transactions you make, or you provide satellite communication services in the remote areas like oceans, or in places like Ladakh or Arunachal, or in Andaman and Nicobar's, in remote areas where the terrestrial or the mobile communication doesn't work. We have 2 geostationary and 10 polar orbiting remote sensing satellites, which are basically keeping an eye on the surface of the Earth. Any kind of activity today which is happening anywhere in the world, we have capability to detect that, and I will show you some examples of that. We also have built our own navigation satellite systems. This is equivalent to, or you can say, a close cousin of GPS systems, which you use in your mobile phones also. And now the Navic GPS, Navic chips are also going to come into your mobile system. This helps you getting your location, latitude, longitude, and the height from the mean surface, and you can navigate using these sets of satellite systems from one place to another. And of course, for space sciences, we have this Mars Orbiter mission, Chandrayaan-2 and AstroSat, which are currently operating. Just for the benefit of students, we have different type of orbits. If you are putting a satellite around the equator, these are all called equatorial satellite orbits. If you have an inclined orbit around the equator, these are all called inclined orbit. And if you put a satellite from pole to pole, these orbits are called the polar orbits. And many of the satellites are put, depending on their applications, into different kind of orbits. This is the kind of roadmap starting from 1979 when Bhaskara was launched. We have traveled, and then large amount of satellite systems have been built within India, which have helped in mapping, integration, knowledge extraction for our own Earth, as well as about the communications of various kind of signals around the Earth surfaces. These are the different thematic series of satellites. We have 4 themes. One is for natural resource assessment. Where are the forests? Where are the minerals? Where are the water bodies? How is the status of glaciers? All these questions you have to answer, you can use this data from this ResourceSat satellite of fleet, which ISRO has launched into the orbit. If you want to do mapping, if you want to map your neighborhood, if you want to know which location is where, at high spatial resolution of around 0.5 to 1.5 meter resolution, we have this CARTO series of satellites. And then, of course, oceans, they are covering 75% of Earth's surface. So to know more about oceans, the kind of processes do take place, we have this ocean series of satellites. And of course, weather and climate is also very important today. As you are seeing that the weather pattern keep on changing dynamically, we have capability. We have 2 satellites at 36,000 kilometers, which provides you every 15-minute interval images about the weather patterns of India. And then this data gets assimilated into weather forecasting, and the weather forecast has improved considerably. How does a satellite system function, or it looks? So this is a satellite, which is under integration in a lab at Bangalore. And then this particular satellite has different components, but the heart of the satellite, or you can say the eyes of the satellite, are these sensors. So this particular sensor is called CartoSat-1. This is a sensor which has imaging capability because there is an imaging telescope, and this is how these telescopes looks like in the laboratory. They are huge systems. And when you put them in space through a rocket, this is the kind of images you get about the Earth's surface. And I will show you one such very high resolution image which has been captured by one of the Indian satellites. This is the part of Rome city in Europe. And you can see even the small cars which are moving on the street, they can be captured with these type of satellite systems, which has a spatial resolution. That means ability to detect an object of around 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter on the Earth's surface from a distance of around 500 kilometers from the surface of Earth. So this type of capability today exists. And this is one image of your own city. I don't know how many of you will to recognize this feature. This is this wonderful lake, which is the Hussain Sagar Lake at your Hyderabad. And then this is the Buddha statue. And then you can see the surroundings of Hussain Sagar Lake. Some of you can also see the shades, different shades of blue within the Hussain Sagar Lake. This helps you in understanding about the clarity of water, whether the water is turbid, wherever it is very dark and deep, this is very clear water. And wherever you have shades of gray in the water, more gray means more turbidity or more pollution in the water. So you can interpret these images and then find some more information, not only about the water body's boundary, but also the type of water and about its physical attributes. So these type of data, I have plenty of such data. Every day, 1 gigabyte of data is coming to NRSC Shadnagar ground station, and huge plethora of data is available since last 30 years about India. Now, what do we do with this data? These images looks beautiful, but unless you put them to some effective use, it makes no sense. So we analyze these images, we do time series analysis, we do change detection, we do spectral analysis, what we call our scientists. Many of you must have heard about data science nowadays or machine learning approaches. And then using these analytics and analysis techniques, we use them for various sectors like food security, water-related applications. We also measure how much is the crop area within the country, what kind of production is going to happen, what is the condition of the crop, whether if very high rain has happened, how the crop damages has happened, whether the farmers needs to be given money in terms of crop insurance settlements, how much are the yield reductions. And then, of course, we also keep an eye on the horticulture crops. Then water resources, water is the most important thing. And many of you must have seen that if you don't get water in your tap for even a day, your morning gets spoiled. So we need to keep an eye on the water resource scenario as a water resource manager would like to have, that how much water is available in the reservoirs around Hyderabad, whether it is depleting, what is happening in summers. So all this information is generated, compiled, and put to a system. Today we have a web-based system for entire country. It's called India Varis, India Water Resource Information System, which has been developed at NRSC. So not only the surface water bodies, we also keep an eye on the groundwater systems. And of course, in the northern India, where the mighty rivers originates like Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, Ravi, Vyas, which comes from the glaciers or the mountains, Himalayan mountains, we also keep an eye on the snow and the glaciers which melts and provide water to these river systems. Urban infrastructure, rural development, and then environment-related issues like forest cover, biodiversity, natural resource census. Disaster management is one other area where a lot of amount of satellite data is being used. This year, you must have seen in Telangana and in Andhra, there were episodes of floods, and we have used, I will show you some examples how effectively we have used satellite systems and informed to the decision maker about the flood forecasting. And then after the floods have happened, how much area has been inundated by these floods, so that search and rescue and then relief operations can be coordinated with the help of these satellite imageries. Not only for floods, we also provide information during the forest fires, landslides, any destruction which has happened post disasters also is quantified and assessed so that the reconstruction or rehabilitation can happen. We have a lot of big activity in marine and ocean segment also, where we provide to our fishermen information about the potential fishing zones, where they can go and do some profitable fishing without wasting too much of their time, energy, and the fuel. And this activity is also run by a center in Hyderabad called Inquise. And then, of course, large amount of ocean weather, which is very important for shipping industry, that also is provided. Ocean environment like coral reefs, and then the water quality of ocean areas is also very important. Weather and climate, everybody talks about climate change. I will also tell you about something later on, but day-to-day weather pattern, as I told you, they play a very important role in our life, and we keep an eye from these two satellite systems, which are available to us from INSAT 3D and INSAT 3DR platforms. Apart from this 2D imaging, we also have capability to do the three-dimensional mapping of Earth's surface. That means we can make measurements, precise measurements about the topography of our country or the neighboring country. So this is the complete digital elevation model which has been developed by NRSC using this CARTO-DEM satellite, which has capability, which has two eyes like humans have. So using these two cameras, which are separated by a distance, we can make measurements and do some mathematical modeling and generate 3D information. So you can see these are the mighty Himalayas, and then these are the plains, and these are the the peninsular regions of South India. And I'll show you some beautiful animations which have been created by this data. I'll take you to Uttarakhand. I will take you to Gangotri, and I'll show you a beautiful animation. How does a glacier look like, and from where the Ganga originates? So this is a 3D animation created by Indian satellite data using this topographic information. This is the river Bhagirathi. And as you go towards the higher areas, you reach to a place called Gomukh, from where the Ganga originates. So this is the place from the river Ganges originates. And then you fly over, as you are going through helicopter, over this mighty glacier called Gangotri Glacier. So this ice which you see is relatively dark in color, it's dirty ice. And then as you go toward the higher reaches of this glacier, you start seeing the fresh snow over the glacial body. And this is the kind of terrain you will see if you go to this region and you fly over this area. All this digital simulations today we are able to do in our lab. And you must have all heard about a new technology called digital twins. And this is a digital twin of the glacial system. This is the other side. You have this mighty Kedarnath, Kedar temple here. And then there are two glaciers, Chorabari and the Champion Glacier in this region. And this is Mandakini River, which comes out from this glacial system. And on the third side of this mighty system is Badrinath. And just now you will see the glacier, which basically through which the river Alaknanda comes out. These are the mighty Himalayan mountains. And this is another glacier called Satopant Glacier. You are flying over it in a virtual manner. And then here comes the Alaknanda River. And then, of course, the famous Badrinath temple is just below this. So this is how you can see the terrain. And you all should feel happy today sitting in Hyderabad. You could go to Uttarakhand and then you could do some Char Dham darshan without much torture of travel. So this is the capability of space imaging today, where we can visualize many of these important, our ecosystem or the environment in a digital platform. Many of these glaciers, they are under threat because of the climate change. The mountains are warming, as do the plains, and many of these glaciers are melting very rapidly. So this is one image which you see here. One particular glacier in Nepal is melting so rapidly. This is, of course, 30 years of data. This lake is expanding so rapidly. You can see the size of the lake is expanding because the ice is melting. And all of you should be really worried. These are the impacts of climate change in Himalaya. This is another lake in Himachal Pradesh, which is expanding so rapidly that after some time, if these lakes, they become so large that one day they will breach and they cause flash flooding, and immediately a lot of people will get affected in the downstream areas. As you can see, this is another lake which is increasing in size. So using satellite data, because these areas are very remote areas, we keep an eye on this and we generate what we call as the time lapse. This is a technology called time lapse technology. So these are the time lapses, 30 years of observations I am showing you in 30 seconds so that you can visualize what is happening to this very fragile ecosystems. Another important area, there are many applications, but time is less. So I will show you something which is of concern today. You all must have heard about the air quality issues in North India, especially now the October season is coming. A lot of, crop fires are happening. People burn paddy residue in Punjab and Haryana. And you can see how this burning is happening. The smoke is getting produced and this smoke has been captured by satellite images, and with winds, this smoke flows towards New Delhi. And many of you may be hearing in news and newspaper that Delhi in October, November, it becomes a gas chamber. So this is how things are not happening there over in Delhi. The same amount of vehicle are there in all months, but this pollution is traveling all the way from Punjab and then affecting people almost 700-800 kilometers away. So these are the fire counts. Today we can observe from space. We have satellites which can see these fires, and you can see that how the entire Punjab state, huge amount of fires are happening after the harvest of the paddy crop, because they have to prepare their fields for the next crop and the time is very less. So they find it is very easy to burn rather than allow for biological decomposition. And this creates the entire episode of pollution in October, November in North India. So we keep an eye on this, and we also make measurements. How much is the total fire when the fire peaks? So normally they peak in the first week of November and then they subside. It also, coincides with festivals like Diwali and all, and a lot of people blame that, the crackers are creating too much of, they create localized pollution, but persistent pollution is caused by some other processes. So you can understand what is happening where remotely and how people are getting affected somewhere else. This is the meteorological satellite, which is, at around 36,000 kilometers. They are called imager and sounders, huge systems. And we are able to monitor the Earth disk by these two satellites every 15 minutes. And I'll show you today's image over Hyderabad, how the weather looks like over Hyderabad. You can see it's intermittently raining. This is taken just half an hour before I started the talk. And you can see this big, large cloud, which is sitting on Andhra. It is a depression, which is causing this rain since yesterday. And the forecast is that for next 2 days also, there is likely to be heavy rain in this region. So this is how every 15 minutes, these updates are getting generated, and this goes into the weather forecast models. And then you are able to get very precise information about the weather in your surrounding regions. This data sets we also use for disaster management like floods, cyclone warning, drought monitoring, landslides, tsunami warning systems, fire, as I told you, an example I gave you. This is how the cyclones, many of you live in, close proximity of Andhra coast. Andhra, Telangana is inundated every year with this cyclone. So every 15 minutes, I am showing you this animation. See this, how a cyclone moves, and then it travels towards the coast of East Coast, and then it can hit, anytime, any of the locations. So today, we have the capability 5 days in advance, we are able to capture these events, and very precisely, we are able to forecast the location where the landfall is going to happen, and then what kind of intensity of rain and winds will be there, so that, the people on the ground are evacuated well in advance, and a lot of lives are being saved. In 1999, when super cyclone in Orissa struck, around, lakhs of people got, the mortality was very high. And today, with most of this devastating cyclone, even super cyclone conditions, the casualty figures are less than 2 digits because of this fantastic early warning system, which we have developed along with the India Meteorology Department about giving forewarning about the cyclone. This is about the floods in Assam this year. So all these dark regions which you see, which I am putting it cyan color, they are the areas affected by the floods. And then we put the, the district information, road information, and then send this information in real time mode to the administrators of this region. And so that, they can plan and then do the work on the ground. This is the recent floods of Godavari this year in Andhra, and you can see all these dark regions, otherwise they are not, black in color. This is before the floods and this is after floods. So all these dark areas, what you see here, they are all the flood affected areas in the West Godavari during the July month of this year. This is the episode of massive floods which has happened in Pakistan this year. Many of you must have heard about it. This is the image before the floods. You can see there is a small lake over here. Now you see, after the floods, this small lake has extended, and it's become so large. It has become almost 100-kilometer wide and 100-kilometer long and 78-kilometer wide. You yourself can see the distance. The blue color, what you see here, is all water. Almost 1/3 of the country is underwater. And as we speak, even today, this water is standing. It's such a massive calamity in that our neighboring country, and millions of people are really suffering. Even after the rain episode happened around 25th or 26th of August, even after 1.5 months, water has not receded, and which is causing a lot of health issues like malaria and then gastro disease and all in the suburban areas of Sindh province of Pakistan. This is another interesting event which happened last year. Many of you must have heard about Chamoli, flash flooding episode. And during that episode, large amount of infrastructure. There was a power plant at Tapovan, NTPC power plant. It got devastated. So using these high resolution images, we can see the kind of damage which has happened in this area. And then, of course, make assessment about the damages. This is another image, very high resolution image. You can see all the spillways of the power plant have simply got vanished. So this is how the satellite images help people in assessing the damage. So these are some of the applications of the Earth observation data. Quickly, I will take you around other planets in 5 minutes. ISRO, apart from that, is doing a lot of space experiments. And we have launched this Chandrayaan-1, Chandrayaan-2 astrosat missions. And then some of these images which has been sent back by our remote sensing cameras about the moon, I would like to show you. So this is a very interesting feature. Moon is having this impact craters because there is no atmosphere. And if you can see this crater from naked eye also, from here, from Earth as well, and this crater is called Tycho crater. But when we do imaging of this crater from 50 kilometers from moon surface, this is how this crater looks like. It's a huge crater. The diameter is around 85 kilometers. From one end to another end is 85 kilometers. And then there is a central hill in between. And this central hill, we have imaged at 5 meters spatial resolution. This is how it looks. So the moon also looks very similar to Earth. Of course, it has different colors. There is no plants, no water, no rivers, no sand. So it's all dark color rocks which are prevailing on the moon surface. And then this is another beautiful, multi-ring basin, or the impact craters which are there on the moon surface, which has been captured by our own satellite. This is the story of water on moon. This is finding the chemical substances or the minerals on moon. I will not spend much time. There is a one full-fledged lecture is needed on that. But using the spectroscopic observations, for the first time, Indians have found water on the moon surface. And I personally is involved in one of such publication where we have confirmed the presence of water on the moon with our Chandrayaan-2 observations also. These are some of the fascinating images of Mars, which has been captured by Indian Mars Orbiter mission. You can see the full disk of Mars. This is how the full Mars looks like. This is the largest volcano on the solar system, called Olympus Mons. It is 25 kilometers in altitude, and beautiful cloud systems also develop over the Mars around these volcanic provinces. I will stop over here. Otherwise, I can continue, but time is not there with us. What is on horizon? Before I close, this technology is going to grow in leaps and bounds. And as we progresses, as the society is getting digitalized, we are going to use large amount of observation data for various sectors like infrastructure, energy, housing, natural resource management, agriculture, and technologies like machine learning, deep learning, and the data which is coming. This basically provide you the knowledge about some of these ecosystems, which will be helpful in taking decisions about your businesses. Internet, which is today Honorable Prime Minister has launched 5G in India, but now you will soon see that the internet services, high throughput internet services from space will be available very soon. Maybe this month itself, we are going to launch, almost a suite of satellites which will provide internet services with a commercial player over India. And then, of course, we are planning for, science missions like Chandrayaan-3, a mission to study our own sun called the Aditya mission, and a plethora of Earth observation missions. Government of India is encouraging now private sector participation. Young students and, college pass outs, they are forming companies, they are making startup companies. Many of them in last 3 years, hundreds of startups have come up in space sector. There are young boys and girls, they are developing rockets now. There are 5-6 companies. Other than ISRO, they are developing their own rocket systems, and then they are, their ambitions are so high, they want to become SpaceX kind of companies in India. So definitely this is a sector with the help of new startups and with the participation of our wonderful, brilliant youth, is going to be very, very vibrant sector in time to come. So I wish you all the very best and hope that some of you can take up this exciting journey of space in times to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chauhan. What an incredibly fascinating presentation, the oration, all the knowledge that you shared. And I was watching this very intently, the entire satellite images, because I as a hobby, I personally love going through Google Maps and Google Earth and, just having an aerial view of the world around us. And thank you for sharing all of this wonderful knowledge with us, the advancements in technology. We're indeed fortunate to be in an era of humanity where so much technology is available to us. Incredibly, what a lovely coincidence that just a few days ago, 28th of September, we commemorated the devastating floods that happened in Hyderabad back in 1908, when over 18.9 inches of rainfall happened, 50,000, 60,000 people, had perished, and lakhs of homes. And after which Usman Sagar and Himayat Sagar were constructed as reservoirs, and then the Musi River, the water was held there. And interestingly, for those of you who might not know, that the Nizam of Hyderabad at that point of time in 1920s had installed at the Usman Sagar reservoir, installed a gramophone-based flood level warning system, where when the flood waters would reach a certain height, the gramophone installed in that system would start playing a warning music. And for every level of the flood that would rise, it would keep playing a different music. So people would just know that it's higher. And then it could, from there to within, just over a century, coming down to the James Webb Telescope, where now we're looking at the beginning of time, 13.7 billion years, the beginning of time, to the real-time satellite imagery that you have shown. I think it's incredible that eminent scientists such as yourself, the society, KVRSS, the entire community, scientific community around the world, around the country, has created this life for us, that we're able to get this information and better the world around us, keep ourselves safe, keep ourselves advanced, and know so much more of the world around us. So thank you so much. I mean, it's just such an inspiring oration and sharing that you have done, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anuj. Thanks a lot.
Of course, to inspire young generation emerging scientists, we have the activities of the society, and that's the entire ethos of why it was founded. And we encourage, of course, innovation. We encourage technological innovation, creativity, and the advancement of thought in itself. And despite the break in education for many during COVID, many students participated in various events conducted by the society. And, your enthusiasm and the entire innovative spirit that you have shown is what makes us, enthuses the energy into us to keep doing the work that we're doing at KVRSS. And of course, the awards that we give out are to honor these efforts and this innovation. So we'd like to now present the awards to students who excelled in various annual events conducted in 2021-22. And as we call the winners of the category, you may please unmute yourself and switch on your video. And of course, the winners would be invited to say a few words. To begin with, we will start with the KVRSS SMART Awards, which is Science Meets Art. So a very, very special category of awards. The aim of the competition is to visualize scientific concepts and make students think out of the box to enhance their creativity and understanding of the subject. The event is conducted on the occasion of National Science Day, and KVRS has received more than 700 entries from various schools across India. 5 students are selected for the awards after 2-stage screening process. Cash awards of rupees 1,500, 1,000 and 1,000 to the winner, runner-up, first runner-up and second runner-up respectively, and 2 consolation prizes of rupees 500 each. And of course, lots of invaluable wishes and encouragement from all of us in the scientific community. All of you in the scientific community, I'm just here as a consolation prize. List of winners starting from the consolation prize to the winners will now be announced, and we request everybody to please show them a lot of love and encouragement in the chat box. May I invite Mr. Ramamurthy, Vice President of KVRSS, to please announce the first segment of awards. Sir.
Yeah. Before I announce the awards for the Smart Awards, I would like to thank Dr. Chauhan for his excellent and informative speech. And we learned a lot of, we have a lot of information today, and we learned a lot of things. I'll now announce the Smart Awards. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. What happened?
Can you see the PPT?
I can see the PPT. Okay, you are now, yeah, okay. I know you can see the PPT. Yeah, the consolation prize is has been won by S. Ashi Madhuja of the class 10 from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Sri Venkateswara Vidyalaya, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Our topic has been gravity. With gravity, everything seems to fall in place. It's a lovely painting that you see where, this is the new series of awards which we have launched actually during the COVID period. And the response has been enormous. Congratulations, Ashi, for your excellent contribution. And I'll go to the next award. The second consolation prize is won by Sudiksha of class 9, Mahatma Montessori Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Madurai, from Tamil Nadu. It is art and science have their place, have their meeting points and methods. Congratulations, Sudiksha. Next, please. Runner-up 2 is, the second runner-up is Rohit Kumar from class 10 from RB Public School, Arkepuram, Secunderabad, Telangana. And the topic has been DNA, the thread of life. You can see a very interesting and a colorful painting there, showing the DNA spiral ring there, along with the I don't know. It shows how how it meets life, various aspects of life. You can see some birds and all that. Runner-up 1, Ria Solanki from class 10 from KBDA Senior Public Secondary School, Chandigarh, Ozone for Life. We have seen the participation across the country actually. So, and the winner-up is Lithika N from class 10, DY Public School, Velachery, Tamil Nadu. Travel of Light Race. I would request Lithika to speak if she's available. If she's on the line.
Lithika, if you're here, if you could please unmute yourself, put on your video, and give your acceptance speech. Is Lithika here? And of course, Zoom has many options, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a whole plethora of emojis and text for you to show your appreciation to all of these wonderful students. I know that if we were in a physical location, we would have, of course, applauded, put our hands together and applauded all of them. But since we're online, let's send them our love, send them our congratulations, and encourage them as they receive their awards. They've worked so hard and so creatively for all of these awards, and of course for their own scientific enhancement. Lithika, are you here with us?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please go ahead. Would you like to switch on your video?
I'm not in the right.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. It's very honored for me to participate in this program, and I have done my part, and it's very privileged to get this award, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. So thank you so much. Congratulations to everybody. Yes, Mr. Ramamurthy.
Yeah, I think all the awards have been announced from my side.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Let's move on to the next part of the program now.
We move on to the KVRSS School Talent Awards. Now, this is in collaboration with the Andhra Pradesh State Council of Science and Technology and students from various districts, particularly the government schools, present projects based on theme. All these students, they present projects based on the theme given by the Department of Science and Technology. And these projects are scrutinized by the KVRSS panel, and students are selected for scholarships till their schooling. The awardees this year, of course, will be announced by Mr. Ramamurthy once again.
Okay. The talent awards, D. Hari from class 9, Zilla Parishad High School, Bilal Valsa, Vijayanagaram district. The teacher has been Mrs. Varlakshmi. He has developed actually a farm alarm with low cost and simple efficient protection for crops from animals without causing harm to them. So it's an interesting project. So congratulations, Hari, for winning this award. The second award goes to Meghna and Varsha from class 6 of Zilla Parishad High School, Gangavaram, Anantapur district, Andhra Pradesh. Supervisor is Mrs. Shailaja. Project title is Grain Coated Maize Cups. They have developed drinking cups using banana and maize waste materials, which have antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. Very interesting project by a class 6 student. The next award goes to Devi SS3, class 10, AAA, NM, and BBSR E High School, Gudlavalleru, Krishna district, Andhra Pradesh. Supervisor is Mr. Satyababu. They've used cockle shell as a partial course in fine aggregate replacement in concrete. So the work is on replacement of partial course in fine aggregates in concrete mixture with cockle shells waste able from the fisheries industries. They have seen remote areas contributing a lot to this talent award. Yeah. Next, Abhishek from class 10, from Adivaram, the school name is quite long, MJ, with a lot of initials. Visakhapatnam District, Andhra Pradesh, and supervisor Satyababu. Project is eco-friendly multi-purpose farming vehicle, and they have constructed a vehicle that can be used in multiple ways in farming, plowing, sowing seeds, etc., using solar energy. So, as an honor, so
Yes, sir.
Um,
Congratulations to all the students. Of course, unfortunately, none of them are available right now with us, so we won't be able to hear from them. But thank you so much for announcing these, and congratulations to all of these winners. I was just before this event started, I felt very proud of myself because after 2 days of research, I finally found the right kind of pen drive that I wanted, and I ordered it on Prime delivery, and it would come to my house in 2 days, and I felt very proud of myself for that achievement. And then I hear the list of achievements that all these wonderful students have made, and then I think I need to do a little more. But congratulations, everybody. Up next, we have the Spark Innovation Awards. And this event, of course, is organized to stimulate young minds and give shape to their creative scientific ideas. The KVRSS received 237 projects, from which 40 projects, 10 from each category, were selected for the final presentation in physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. And a winner and runner-up team from each category was selected for the awards. The winning team and the runner-up team will receive rupees 10,000, rupees 5,000 respectively. A few good projects were selected for consolation prizes, of course. So may I please invite Mrs. Kavita, Science Resources Officer, KVRSS, to please do the honors and announce the awardees.
Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Yeah, I'm here to announce Spark Innovation Awards. And the consolation prize for Ganita Maths goes to Anusha Kuti and Rida Azam of class 10th, Summerfield School, Greater Kailash, New Delhi. And the supervisor is Chandresh Thakur. And the project title is What's the Painting? What's that painting? Yeah, the work develop a mobile game to practice math-oriented questions using enticing riddles and rewards to keep students involved and increase their logical thinking and mathematical reasoning. So the next award goes to, it's a runner-up actually, it's runner-up, S. Hari Srinivasan and Neil Umesh Mantri of class 9th, DAV Boys Senior Secondary School, Gopalapuram, Chennai. And the supervisor is Sucharita. The project title is Numerico. The work done by them is develop a multiplayer board game to test mathematical concepts of integers. And the winners are N. Pavan Kumar, E. Alvin Thomas, and Prachi Singh of class 10th, Army Public School, Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. And the supervisor is Mr. Shubham Keswal. The project title is Gamification and Mathematical Concepts. And the work done by them was, the project involved building, just a second, building it math-oriented game using C# programming language to learn the basic operations of math easily. So can I request the winners, if they are available, to speak a few words? Any of you?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, Pavan.
First of all, ma'am, I would be liking to thank you all for giving me this opportunity. And it was quite hard to actually develop this. I mean, it was easy to come up with the concept, but it was hard to implement it. So that's all I have to say. I didn't expect us to win.
Congratulations.
Can you briefly tell us about the project?
So, I mean, you must have read the documentation. Actually, this project was made in Unity 3D game engine. It is you can use it for personal development and also for commercial purposes. So this game is made using that, and it is a 2D game, which basic idea is to develop the child's mind in performing mental math calculations. So basically in the game, there will be a question which the player has to solve in his mind and has to play the game in order to win. So that is the basic working of the game. If you would look at the screenshots, you will get a better idea of it. This game was made using the Shisha programming language, which is like a child to the C language. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Pawan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Next, we move forward to Bautikam Physics Awards. And the consolation prize goes to Anunay Narayan Trivedi, Tapas Singh and Bhavika Mishra of class 9, City Montessori School, Rajaji Puram, Lucknow. Supervisor is Mrs. Afroz Ahmed. The project title is Smart Bin. The work involves developing a smart dustbin for use by old and or disabled persons, which opens automatically when a person comes near to it and also restricts overflow of garbage. And the first runner-up is Kushagra Patel, Arush Agarwal, and Abhinav Singh of class 8th, Delhi Public School, Kalyanpur, Kanpur, Bihar. And the supervisor is Mrs. Vimal Sharma. The project title is All Vacuum Clean AI Vacuum Cleaner. The work done by them is they constructed a low-cost artificial intelligence-based vacuum cleaner which can climb small heights, convenient to use and need less time to clean. That's good. And the winner is Art Singal of class 9, Bal Bharti Public School, Pitampura, New Delhi. And the supervisor is Mrs. Amardeep Kaur, and the project title is Comforting Sumo. And the work done by them is they constructed a toy which can take care of some activities for elderly persons and help in overcoming loneliness. Can I request Art Singal to speak a few words if he's available?
Good evening, I'm audible.
Yeah, you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Earth from Bal Bharti Public School, Pitampura. And this is my project Comforting Sumo that I have made to fight from loneliness. Sir and ma'am, we could see that in the pandemic, there were a lot of people who became lonely because of some unfortunate deaths and some unfortunate events. And also, like due to this depression and anxiety and all that, the elderly people forget to take medicines and all of that. So my toy provides a complete solution to their healthcare, and like it also entertains them by providing them various like toys and like songs and all of that. I would like to especially mention my teacher, Mrs. Amandeep Kaur, who has helped me in developing this. So thank you all.
Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And next, we move forward to Jeevanam Biology Awards. And the consolation prize goes to Soha Ajaz and Lal Nukmi Namte of class 10th, Tagore International School, Vasant Vihar, Delhi. A supervisor is Dr. Remy Kaul. The project title is Grass Paper and as an alternative for plastic packing. Okay, the work done by them is they prepared biodegradable grass paper using grass, which can be used as an alternative for plastic in packing. It's a good job. And the first runner-up goes to Kavya Mittal of class 12, Rich Valley School, Gurugram, Haryana. Supervisor is Miss Neelu Singh. The project title is Hindrance. The work done by him is he developed a mobile game with good graphic design to develop eye-hand coordination, problem solving, and task organization for handicapped and special needs students. And the winner is Parth Nijavan and Suklin Kaur of class 12th and 10th respectively. of school Salwan Public School, Rajendra Nagar, New Delhi. And the supervisor is Miss Bhavna Kaushik. The project title is Household Wastewater Treatment Using Natural Coagulants. The work done by them is they work on developing an eco-friendly, low-cost wastewater treatment system using Moringa oleifera seeds, which exhibited better antimicrobial activity. Very good, Parth and Suklin. If any of you is available, can we have a few words with you?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for considering us for this project and for this prize. And this has surely motivated us to further work on this project and improve it and put a contribution in the society.
That's good. Congratulations once again. Thank you. And next we move on to Rasayanam Chemistry Awards. And the consolation prize goes to Falgun Sukhija, Syed Shan, Abbas Ali Naqvi, and Tanmay Parikh of class 12, Centerpoint School, Nagpur, Maharashtra. And the supervisor is Mrs. Sonia Bora. The project title is Solar Desalination of Brackish Water. They developed a lab scale method for desalination brackish water using high light absorbing graphene Fe3O4 nanoparticles, which are effective at transforming light into heat. And the first runner-up are Manthan Gade, Sachit Jaiswal, and Kapish Jaiswal of class 10th, Bhavans BP Vidya Mandir, Nagpur, Maharashtra. The supervisor is Mr. Ravindra Tardas. Project title is Particle Board from Crop Waste. They develop low-cost particle board using waste agricultural materials, mainly rice husk. Okay, and the winner is Lavanya Sachideva and Shlok Advani of class 12, Salvan Public School, Rajendra Nagar, New Delhi. And the supervisor is Dr. Shilpa Raghuvanshi Chauhan. Project title is Mosquitocidal cum larvacidal cakes from waste cigarette butts. The work they developed was formulation. They formulated using nicotine-rich cigarette butts for producing carbon dioxide by adding yeast, sugar, and binding material under stagnant water for attracting and killing both mosquitoes and larvae. Thank you. And congratulations to all the winners. Over to Anuj.
Thank you. I don't think the winners are here with us. Could we move on to the next segment then?
Please go ahead.
Yes. All right. So up next, we have, of course, the KVRSS Research Awards, our flagship awards for which the society was initially started to encourage research in basic sciences. And starting with, of course, chemistry. Now, these awards are given in the basic fields of physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics for students below 30 years of age for their exemplary work during PhD. This year, 115 research students from various research institutes and organizations across India applied for the awards. Winners in each category receive rupees 20,000, while the first runner-up and the second runner-up students get rupees 10,000 each. Dr. Ratna, may I request you to please do the honors and announce the awardees.
Yeah, thank you, Anuj. We will start with the Math Awards, that's the Ganitam Awards. The runner-up 2 is Akshay Kumar from University of Hyderabad, Telangana. Supervisor is Professor R. Radha. The project title for which he's got the award is Raymond Problem for Ray-type Materials with Non-Constant Initial Conditions. Congratulations, Akshay Kumar. And then we have runner-up 1, who's Purnendu Kumar from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Karnataka. Supervisor is Professor Tirthankar Bhattacharya. The project title is Distinguished Varieties with Respect to the Bidisc and the Symmetrized Bidisc. Congratulations, Mr. Purnendu. And the winner in the math category is Preetam Ganguly, again from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Karnataka. Professor Sundaram Tangavelu is a supervisor, and the project title is An Uncertainty Principle Regarding the Best Possible Decay of Spectral Projections Associated with Hermite, Special Hermite and Laplace spectrometric operators on rank 1 compact symmetric spaces. If Preetam Ganguly is around, we would like you to say a few words.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Preetam.
Hi.
Yes.
So I just want to thank the organizer for giving me this award. So it's really overwhelming. I don't know what else to say. So I must say this is a really great initiative from the organizers end to organize such events to motivate young researchers like us. So thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations, and we hope you have a great career ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next, we move on to Bhautikam, that is the Physics Awards. Runner-up 2 is Mr. Praveen Kumar from Indian Institute of Technology, Patna, Bihar. The supervisor is Professor Naveen K. Nishchal. The project title is Structured Light Beams and its use in optical encryption. Congratulations, Mr. Praveen. And the runner-up in the Physics Bhautikam section is Y.R. Karthik from Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, Karnataka. The supervisor is Professor Sujit Sarkar, and the project title is Topological Quantum Phase Transitions and Criticality in Longer Range Kitave Chain. Congratulations, Mr. Karthik. And the winner in Physics Bhautikam category is Manali Nandi from Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Kalpakam, Tamil Nadu. And the supervisor is Dr. John Philip. And the project title is Interdroplet Force Measurement between Gamma Alumina Stabilized Pickering Nano Emulsion Droplets, Role of Electrostatic and Electric Dipolar Interactions. Very good. Congratulations to Manali. If you are around, we would like to hear from you. Manali?
Is Manali here?
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes.
everyone. I'm really grateful. Thank you to everyone for giving me this award. And I am overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. I am really motivated from this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Manali, and we hope you have a great future ahead in research.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Next, we move on to Jeevanam. That's the biology section of the awards. The runner-up is Abdul Wasim from Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Hyderabad, Telangana. And the research professor, guide is Professor Jagannath Mandal. The project title is HIC Data Integrated Model Elucidates E. coli chromosomes multi-scale organization at various replication stages. Congratulations, Abdul. The runner-up one is Pallavi Delal, University of Hyderabad, Telangana. Supervisor Professor Krishnaveni Mishra. Project title is a novel ER protein 2AP4 regulates nuclear function and nuclear pore complex quality in S. Cervici. Okay, whatever, you should have to tell me that. If you are winner is Srividya Gorentla from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, WITS Pilani campus. Supervisor is Dr. Gautam Singhvi. Project title is Exploring the Effluent Potential of Glycerol Monopolyate Myristrol Liquid Crystal Nanoparticles Mediated Localized Topical Delivery of Tofacitinib. Study of Systematic QBD, Skin Deposition and Dermal Pharmacokinetics Assessment. Congratulations, Srividya. If you are around, you may speak.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to participate in this at first, in first instance. I'm very happy to receive this KVRSS award and feeling honored and prestigious, privileged to be in this event. And I'm thankful to all of you who supported it at each and every step, for guiding us and for giving the motivation. And this is giving me the best motivation to continue the research to the further extent. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srividya. Congratulations and thank you. Actually, COVID has really given a great opportunity for all of us also to interact with many more students from across India, and even the judges for that matter. We could actually tap in from across India, particularly our earlier research students who are now in very prestigious positions in various institutions across India. So this was a great opportunity for us also. So of course, it was a very arduous task to screen out and select students, but ultimately this, we should congratulate the students also who have put in so much effort of going through the grill and coming up with this. Congratulations, all of you. Now we'll move on to the last section of the awards. It's a Sanam Chemistry. Runner-up 2 is Leela Shri from BITS Vilani, Hyderabad campus. The supervisor is Dr. Himanshu Agarwal. And the project title is MO-based flexible low-cost chemi-resistive device as a respiration sensor for sleep apnea diagnosis. Congratulations, Leela Shri. And the runner-up 1 is Prachi Kaur from CSR National Chemical Laboratory, Pune, Maharashtra. Supervisor is Dr. Shatabdi Porel Mukherjee, and the project title is CSVR3 CS4 VR6 perovskite at COF nano composites for visible light-driven photocatalytic applications in water. Before I ask Prachi go on to the next winner, I would like to mention here that Dr. Shatabdi Porel was one of our awardees in the earlier years, and we are extremely happy to see that one of her students has again become a winner here. Congratulations, Prachi. Winner for in the chemistry section is Diksha Rai, Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, Maharashtra. And the supervisor is Professor Suvarna S. Kulkarni. The project title is Total Synthesis of Conjugation Ready Trisaccharide Repeating Units of Pseudomonas aeruginosa O11 and Staphylococcus aureus type 5 capsule polysaccharide for vaccine development. Congratulations, Diksha. If you are around, we would like to hear from you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm really glad to receive this award. And thank you for giving me opportunity to present in front of all of you. I would like to thank the KVRSS organizing committee as well as the Department of Chemistry, IIT Bombay, for giving me all the facility and opportunity to work and do some work related to our society. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Diksha, and we hope you have a great future ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
That ends the awards section. I hand over to Anuj.
Thank you, Dr. Ratna. I'm going to take 30 seconds and request everyone to please once again send all your congratulations and best wishes in the chat box or through the emoticon or through the emojis to all of these wonderful students and innovators and scientists, really. And especially, I think, leading from, Dr. Ratna herself and the team at KVRSS, I think it's incredible to see year after year how many girls and women are taking part more and more in scientific in scientific advancements. And it's interesting and heartening to see that they're not just breaking through barriers and advancements of science, but also breaking stereotypes, which unfortunately still prevail, but constantly through good work done by KVRSS and the scientific community, these stereotypes are slowly fading away. And, we're happy to see more and more girls and women in science. So congratulations to all of you. And we'd like to once again take an opportunity to thank Dr. Chauhan once again for taking the time out, sir, and sharing your experience, your knowledge, your insights with us. And thank you for having also accepted the memento presented to you as a token of our gratitude. We're very honored to have you with us for the ceremony, and of course being associated with you on the road ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
I'd like to, of course, give the screen back now to Dr. Ratna for a very special announcement.
Thank you, Arun.
I think you are on mute. If you could please unmute
Okay,
yourself.
sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anush, for reminding me. This is a very special moment for us, and we would like to acknowledge one person who has been with us for long and has done tremendous work for us, society. I would like to acknowledge his contribution. Can I please ask Mr. M.N. Murthy to switch on his video? Mr. Murthy, huh? Video. Actually, if you do not have video, can you be on the audio, please?
Mr. M.N. Murthy, if you could please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Where is? Hello. Good evening, sir. Mr. Murthy, if you are there, would like you to respond to us.
Mr. Murthy, if you're able to hear us, could you please speak so we can confirm your audio as well?
There, because I just wanted. Not coming. Anyhow, I mean, this is, we wish to acknowledge his contribution to KVR society. So I'll read out what we have wanted to say. Today, we wish to place on record our heartfelt thanks to a very senior member of our team who has stood by the society from its infancy and supported its growth at each step. He shall ever remain part of KVRSS family. Not highly educated and no knowledge of science. However, his contribution to KVRS in promoting and cooperating science is immeasurable. Dedication, zeal, loyalty. He is the person to go to during any crisis. Born in a small town and burdened with responsibilities at an young age, education was never his priority. Forget science. Though he worked in many companies and gained immense knowledge in various aspects of business, higher education was a dream for him. This he realized by making both his daughters highly educated. Ever smiling and putting his best foot forward, he proved one need not have high education, but can still contribute to it by understanding its importance. In his own words, working for KVRSS has been the best thing which happened to me, as I could go to the best of the education institutions of India and interact with many senior scientists, more than any science student can imagine. KVRS would not have been the same without his contribution. Even today, retired after more than 16 years of working with KVRSS, we can count on his support. To acknowledge his unstinted support, we present a small token of appreciation on behalf of the family of KVRSS and wish him a happy, healthy, long life. I wish that he accepts the same. Thank you, Murthy Garu, for all that you have done for KVRSS. Thank you very much. I would like to show a small token of our appreciation to him. If he is watching us, please accept it. We will come to your place and present it to you. Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Murthy. You can put in the chat box if you are unable to reach out to us. So I wish to put on record our sincere thanks to him.
Thank you. Thank you. After that very special message, may I request Mrs. Aparna, team member KVRSS, to please present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anuj. First of all, congratulations to all the awardees. On behalf of all the members of Dr. K.V. Rao Scientific Society, I thank all the honorable dignitaries, eminent scientists, and guests for taking time to attend the function online and make this 22nd Dr. K.V. Rao Annual Memorial Oration and Science Function a great success. The entire team of KVRSS would like to express their thanks to the distinguished scientist, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center, NRSC, Hyderabad, for presenting the memorial oration, a very interesting talk on satellites for society, Thank you, sir, for presenting such an inspirational talk. A special mention to thank Dr. Manjushri, scientist NSRA, for coordinating for the memorial oration. We thank all the panel judges for the various awards for helping us select worthy students for the awards. Our thanks to MS Electronic Arts and members of Lalita Varanasi Fund for their generous funding and assisting us in developing lab facilities for school children, which are being extensively used by the students. We also thank all the eminent scientists who, with their spontaneous support to our cause and valuable suggestions, help us in improving the quality of our activities each year and select worthy students. We acknowledge all the candidates who participated in our programs and wish them success in all their endeavors and career ahead. Our congratulations to all the awardees of today. We thank the audience and the media for their support to our cause. Last but not the least, all the team members of KVRSS need a special mention. We thank one and all who made this event possible. Thank you. Thank you. Over to Anuj.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for taking the time out for all of your contribution. You can, of course, may I remind you once again that kvrss.org is the website. You can go ahead and read up on all the information. It's been updated, and stay connected with us and spread the word, spread science, spread the joy of science. And congratulations, of course, once again to all the awardees. Thank you to the distinguished guests. And I'll leave everybody with this incredible quote that I came across by Mae Jemison, who was an engineer and a physician, and also the first African-American woman to travel into space, where she conducted experiments on weightlessness and motion sickness. A very interesting former NASA astronaut who said, "Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. It's your place in the world. It's your life. Go on and do all you can with it and make it the life you want to live." So on that note, I thank everybody and wish you safe days ahead. And until we meet again, hopefully again in a physical setting. Until then, thank you so much and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Dr. Chauhan, for being here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
much.
Dr. Sir.
I'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ratna.
Thank you, Dr. Manjushri.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all, and have a great day.